Hey guys, and welcome along to This Week in Photography, in which I scour the internet looking for interesting photography related stories that are not about lenses. Every week or thereabouts I take a look at interesting stories happening in the photographic world, apply some unaffiliated scrutiny to them and expose the truth behind the headlines. And in this week's show, DJI lower their pants and expose their data to the world, Adobe roll out substantial updates to Photoshop and Lightroom, the world's first 3.2 gigapixel camera nears completion, the DJI Mavic 3 Classic's on its way, and a drone company create the first season lapse. I'm reasonably convinced that most multinational conglomerates have fired their cybersecurity teams, sent them on their way with a brief exit interview with Nicola in HR, and then replaced them with a herd of miniature goats. How else do you explain the never-ending succession of massive hacks? Seemingly every week, personal private data is published on the dark web and exposed to the few people that aren't there to buy Adderall or fake college degrees. The Cyber News research team revealed that they have discovered an open database over 90 million entries big, containing drone logs from the official Aeroscope drone monitoring device. The majority of these logs are located in the US, where, so I believe, they take the threat of aerial terrorism quite seriously these days. The hacked logs include the drone's position, model and serial number, and where the pilot was located. In fact, the 52.5 gigabyte database contains the unique IDs of over 80,000 DJI drones. The hackers proved troubling to freedom-loving Americans who would rather they weren't surveilled every time the old Mavic Air went up for a flight. And while there's not much anyone with normal IT skills could do to subvert this data for nefarious purposes, it calls into question DJI's ability to protect their customers' privacy. And I'm guessing that someone with above average IT skills like, I don't know, a malicious state actor like Russia could easily use this data to spoof the ID of a drone belonging to some blameless schlub from Idaho. Is that Autel Nano looking any more appealing now? While half the software companies in the world are hell-bent on dislodging Adobe from that top spot in the creative software application world, the OGs are still sitting pretty. Their massive market share does not make them immune to the features that their competitors roll out, however. And so the latest releases of Lightroom and Photoshop are focused on, yep, you've guessed it, AI. Top of the new feature list are AI-powered masking tools in Lightroom, Lightroom Classic, Photoshop and Adobe Camera Raw. These enable you to quickly select people, objects and backgrounds, and joins the sky and subject selection tools from the previous update. Adobe have gone one step further than their competitors with selection tools for people, enabling you to select body parts such as eyebrows and lips. I reckon they missed a trick there and should have included chest and groin selection tools. Give the public what they really want. The most useful tools for us landscape photographers will be the background and people selection tools. These will make retouching the old arms aloft sunset 10-second timer beach selfie considerably easier. Photoshop also gains a new neural filter for old and damaged photographs and live Gaussian blurs and gradients. Creative Cloud subscribers will find these updates in the app. Everyone else can expect to see them on the usual torrent sites a few minutes later. The megapixel wars have traditionally played out between the main camera manufacturers in a technological game of one-upmanship. However, Sony, Nikon, Canon and the rest are going to find it hard to compete with a camera that's currently nearing completion in Chile. Yes, scientists are putting the finishing touches to the world's largest camera, a 3.2 gigapixel monster that's designed to sit behind a brand new telescope high in the mountains above all the air pollution in Chile. Of course, this isn't comparable to a traditional camera because the Vera C. Rubin telescope is actually comprised of 189 sensors and is being built for several purposes, including a better understanding of the mysteries of dark matter. When it's active, the massive camera will also catalogue all near-Earth objects that are more than 300 meters wide, including the various objects floating in the Kuiper belt. Perhaps they'll spot Elon's interplanetary Tesla. The camera's sensors are arranged in arrays of rafts with 9 sensors per raft, and as you might imagine, there's no ordinary price tag for this tech either. Each one of those rafts costs $3 million alone. The entire camera and telescope has actually been in development for over 20 years now, but will finally be up and running within a year. And as you might imagine, it doesn't use off-the-shelf lenses either. In fact, the main lens for the sensor array is a staggering 5 feet across. When asked about the price tag for this incredible piece of technology, one of the lead scientists said they'd originally considered using a Leica, but that this was a cheaper option. Well, it would seem that the rumours of a baseline Mavic 3 were correct, and that we can expect to see the launch of the Mavic 3 Classic within the next month. The new drone, which is rumoured to be joined by a cheaper Mini 3, has now been listed in FCC filings and is therefore the real deal. Word on the street is that the Mavic 3 Classic will launch at the end of October for about $1,400 US. As we mentioned in previous episodes, one of the main differences between the Classic and the Cine is that this new drone ditches that useless telephoto camera in favour of a traditional single camera gimbal system. All things considered, I reckon this new model will be a worthy upgrade from something like a Mavic 2 Pro or an Air, since it features the same amazing Hasselblad camera and sensor package of the Cine's main camera. And since it's been over a year since the Cine's launched, DJI have had plenty of time to work out all the kinks in the firmware, suggesting that this will be a solid performer from the word go. That being said, with DJI recently being placed on a US Department of Defense blacklist of corporations with claimed ties to the Chinese military, you might find it hard to buy a DJI drone one day soon, so I say get in there while you can. And finally, one media production company has pushed the boundaries of time-lapse videography with what they're calling a season lapse. Shot above the city of Boston in the US and utilising footage shot over the course of several years, Above Summit's long-term aerial hyperlapse is a singularly impressive combination of filming and editing skills. The team behind the footage reckon they fly cameras on just about everything from standard drones all the way up to helicopters. Whatever they're using, the results are next level, and I tip my hat to the guys that put all this together, because it was evidently a serious commitment of both time and resources. Be sure to check out the full amazing video on Vimeo. I'll put the link down in the description section below. Have a squiz. And that's all I've got for you this week, guys. I'm getting back into the swing of things after some forced downtime due to a computer failure, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Are you happy to have your drone's ID and full telemetry broadcast to anyone that ponies up a couple of grand for DJI's tracking system? Would you like a 3200 megapixel camera? Or are you satisfied with the 2 megapixel camera on your trusty old Nokia N95? As always, let me know in the comments section down there. Flip me a like if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe for more generalized photography bollocks from yours truly in your YouTube feed. Till the next time, guys, ta-ta.